The case between Senator Natasha Akpabio and the Senate President Akpabio, is it a bold step towards justice or a road that leads to nowhere? Hello everyone, I'm your girl, Lady Rain, and this is Rain Rise Television. Today, I'll be talking you through the interactions between Senator Natasha Akpabio and Senate President Godswill Akpabio, which has evolved over several key events. I will talk you through the timeline first before I dive into it. On the 8th of December, according to Senator Akpabio, on the 8th of December 2023, during what seems to be a visit to Senator Akpabio's residence in Akwa, Senator Akpabio alleged that Senate President Akpabio made inappropriate advances towards her while showing her around
up whenever he could. And then he got to this particular sitting room. And he said, do you like my house?
February
I said, of course, sir. Every room, beautiful, nice
Senator
interior, quality taste. He said, now that you're a senator, I'm going to create time for us to come spend quality moments here. You will enjoy it. At that point, I just pulled away and I was like, I don't understand what exactly that meant. But then my husband now, when I turned around, I saw my husband was already near me. And the way my husband looked at me and looked at him, I was beginning to wonder, did he hear part of that inciting statements or not? And then the Senate President too, I saw that he also had that thought, like, did my husband hear the invitation to treat or not? So then the Senate President,
leading to a confrontation with Senate President Akpabio. In February 28, 2025, in an interview with Arise News, Senator Natasha Akpabio publicly accused
I have before me a petition by a Nigerian citizen and a constituent of Kogi Central under the name Suberu Azamari Yakubu. And the petition is against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, for sexual harassment, abuses of office, and malicious obstruction of legislative functions of distinguished Senator Natasha Akpabio. So with your kind permission, may I please lay this petition? Because as you know, yesterday...
Is there any legal impediment?
On the subject matter, none, sir. None, sir.
Please proceed to lay the petition. Since you said there is no legal impediment.
There is none, sir. Thank you.
Don't worry, somebody...
Senator Natasha signed it herself. March 6, 2025, the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges recommended a 6-month suspension for Senator Natasha Akpabio, citing misconduct. The Senate approved this suspension, which included the withdrawal of her security aids and closure of her office. In March 2025, Senator Akpabio addressed the Interparliamentary Union and the United Nations, describing her suspension as an attempt to silence her and seeking international
I am not here to bring shame to our country. I'm here to seek help for the women of Nigeria.
Late March 2025,
Again, my name is Senator
the
Natasha
civil society organizations and
5 days
individuals
ago,
called for a
on the
transparent
6th of March
investigation
2025, I was suspended.
emphasizing the need
As a senator,
for
I was suspended.
Justice. In April
because I submitted a
2025,
petition of
Senator Natasha Akpabio
against the President of the
reiterated her
Nigerian
intent
Senate,
to pursue
Senator
legal
Godswill
action
Akpabio.
against Senator
I thought
Akpabio, expressing determination to seek justice through the courts.
And both of us
now, this timeline outlines the significant events in the ongoing situation between Senator Natasha Akpabio and the Senate President.
I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many
now,
other
I have to make this point very, very clear. I am not someone who supports any form of harassment,
taking away all the officials,
sexual,
and other items that
emotional,
to me as a senator.
Institutional,
My
physical. I do not support any form of abuse. I also don't support bullying in any shape or form.
And for 6 months,
especially within the chambers of power, where leaders are expected to protect, not intimidate.
I'm here illegally.
But let me be clear about one thing. I'm also not the type to take accusations at face value without evaluating the full context, the timeline, and the unspoken truths. The situation between Senator Natasha Akpabio and the Senate President Akpabio began on what seems to be a typical day in the Nigerian Senate on the 20th of February 2025. Until it wasn't. Let's watch this clip. As you can see from watching the clip, that Senator Natasha Akpabio raised her voice in the chambers. Not in rebellion though, but in what she believed was a legitimate expression of her right to speak, a right supposedly protected by the very constitution those chambers were built to uphold. Now, what followed was unexpected. Her voice, her questions, and her presence were seemingly annulled. Not long ago, as I have outlined during the timeline, Senator Natasha appeared on Arise News alleging not just suppression of her voice, but something far more disturbing. She alleged sexual harassment by Senate President Godswill Akpabio. She accused him of calling her during odd hours, asking inappropriate questions, including disturbingly asking her of the color of her underwear. At one point, she claimed to have played along to see where it would lead. She said he later made a financial transfer of 500 million naira to her account. According to her, on another occasion, the Senate President held her hand during an official house tour and whispered suggestions that were inappropriate, even as her husband reportedly stood nearby and probably eavesdropping on their conversation. Here's the part that has divided opinions. Now, again, let's watch this clip.
Up whenever he could. And then he got to this particular sitting room and he said, "Do you like my house?" I said, "Of course, sir. Every room, beautiful, nice interior, quality taste." He said, "Now that you're a senator, I'm going to create a time for us to come spend quality moments here. You will enjoy it." At that point, I just pulled away and I was like, I don't really understand what exactly that meant. But then my husband now, when I turned around, I saw my husband was already near me. And the way my husband looked at me and looked at him, I was beginning to wonder, did he hear part of that inciting statements or not? And then the Senate President, too, I saw that he also had that thought, like, did my husband hear
I know what
the invitation to treat or not?
Thinking,
so then the Senate President...
And I know some of the questions that might be lingering in our minds. The parts, and these are what formed the part that has divided opinions. Why did she not raise the alarm earlier? Why did she not return the alleged 500 million naira funds that was transferred to her account, or report the inappropriate calls immediately? Why did she, as a married woman, continue to engage in such conversations with her superior if they were unwanted? And most importantly, what changed? If you have not been a victim of sexual abuse or molestation, you will not understand. You will not understand why women who experience abuse choose to keep mute, especially when the abuser is someone of someone in a position of authority, someone who is their superior, or someone who their means of livelihood depends on them. Also, some of you might want to know what triggered the shift from silence to public confrontation. Was it a matter of courage finally arising, or was it fallout from a relationship that turned sour? Could it be political retribution or an internal Senate power game now playing out in the public? While on the other side, if these allegations are true, then they speak volumes about a dangerous abuse of power, and they must be investigated thoroughly without bias, without influence, and with full transparency. But let me remind you, we are talking about Nigeria here. However, if there are gaps in the narrative, if critical parts are missing or conveniently brushed over, then we are risking weaponizing a serious issue like harassment for personal or political gain. And I do not want to think that this would be the case. But I ask, and I ask again, is Senator Natasha's revelation a turn worth taking? Is it a brave call for accountability in the corridors of power? Is it a call that is so long overdue? Or is Senator Natasha's revelation a turn that is not worth taking? What about if it is a turn worth taking? A brave call for accountability in the corridors of power? What about or should I say, if the credibility of her claims has been damaged by the unanswered questions, the questionable actions, or should I say a delay in response? Do you think this is a righteous stand or a wrong road paved with personal motives? Or are we very quick in choosing sides? Let's not be quick to choose sides. Rather, let's be quick to ask the right questions. Because in matters like this, truth doesn't just deserve to be heard. It deserves to be proven. And if proven, it deserves justice, regardless of your status. We hope, as we watch the event unfolds, we hope that this matter is proven and that justice is served. Thank you for listening and for being so patient to watch to the end.